The basis of this proposal is to analyze the communication problems that we have with our team and come up with strategies, tactics, and potential plans that can help remedy this problem. Being a member on this team, everybody knows the problems that we have. The players know, the coaches know. We know that there is not a lot of communication, everybody being on the same page. There is not a lot of accountability where there's older players policing the younger players. We know there's not people being responsible for their actions. And I know one of the things that our coach is being trying to stress this year, because he wants to make a change. He knows that the culture that we have now, the culture that has been created, there's not one person to blame. Our coach is not to blame. It's just over the years, things being unsaid, no one taking initiative has created a culture where there's a lack of communication. So during these meetings, that our player meetings with our coach, one thing he discusses is communication and team chemistry and team bonding. So that's one thing that he wants to work on over the off season. So I think that focusing on these plans, focusing on new ways to remedy this problem is the proposal that I'm about to deliver. The client that I'm going to be focusing on is mostly my team and mostly my senior leaders. Over the next 5 weeks, I'm going to analyze our player meetings that we have every week and our player to coaches meetings that we have every week. During these meetings, there's talk about day-to-day activities with football and our weight room program, and also our position groups. And also during this time, we're going to focus on ways we can help better our team. So this is where I'm going to get my data from for this project. So the client is the senior leaders. We have about, I would say, 12 people as our senior class, and I'd say 5 of those guys are real leaders who are really dedicated and really want to see change in this program, myself included. So the first thing is that there's no team chemistry. One of the things that our coaches stress is that long term we want to win a championship, a conference championship. And he believes that successful teams that win championships, they have really good team camaraderie. They have really good team chemistry. So he feels that short term we need to focus on building that team camaraderie, building that team chemistry. Because if you build that team chemistry and the team camaraderie, he believes that's one of the key factors into being successful. And being successful leads to winning, which is a long-term goal. So one of the short-term goals is figure out ways to fix this problem. Because he believes if we fix this problem, we come together as a team, long-term, down the road, next year, we can win games. So that's one of the things that our coach is really stressing, is his team chemistry and team bonding. The main purpose of this proposal is to basically break down the old culture that I mentioned before. To break down the old culture of no one saying anything when a player misses a lift, or holding people accountable when they're slipping up in class, when someone fails a drug test, or people are not giving it their all in the weight room, or just half doing it in the weight room. Prior, there was no older teammate to step in and speak up and to bring that player up to speed, because there was no team chemistry. It was everybody's for themselves. Main goal here is to fix that, is to find positive ways for our leaders to come in and speak to these players and to bring everybody up to speed. It's because you want to create a culture where there's accountability, where if someone messes up, I can talk to a player and he doesn't feel offended, that there's just, because we're all trying to get to one goal, which is to win. So if we have that communication foundation based down early with these players, we can get a grasp on what we're really trying to do, which is to win games. Another thing that our coach stressed is that he wants us to build team chemistry. He wants us to to have more team activities. So one of the things that we're going to implement, and our coach want to implement, and one thing I'm proposing is having more team activities, at least twice a month. One thing we can do is to go bowling, to go paintballing, to go to a basketball game. I know that one of the things that our players really want to do is go paintballing as a team. That's one thing when our coach brought it up, all the players got really excited about. He believes that bringing our team together and doing things together will make us closer, and in the end, making us closer will help us talk to each other more. And you don't want to mess up, or you don't want to let your teammate down, so you're going to do whatever you can to be there for your teammate. And he thinks by spending more time together, that's the type of behavior that we're going to have. Another thing is with meetings. Another thing I'm proposing, one of the main ideas I'm proposing, is having 2 meetings a week with the senior leaders to talk about things that need to be improved. Talk about every week what's going on during this week, like who's missing lifts, who's not going to class, because our coach and the other coaches can only do so much. Our coach wants us to police ourselves, and by policing ourselves, we're showing accountability as players, that we're really serious about winning games and changing this culture. So by having these meetings with the senior leaders, we can talk about things that need to be done. We can gather ideas for team activities. So we can talk about it in the senior leader meeting, and then once we have our player only meeting, we can talk about in the player only meeting what we talked about in the senior meeting. And if any other younger classmen want to speak up and talk, they can during this time. This way, there's constant communication amongst our team. There's constant communication about what's going on and what needs to be improved. And I think that twice a week during these meetings, I think at least once a week during the meetings, that our head coach, and our strength coach should be there. This way, our strength coach can talk to us about things that need to be improved in the weight room, or ideas we have in the weight room that can get better. Also, our coach can be there so he can bounce off ideas with us. This way, there's this triangle between our coach, our senior leaders, and the strength staff, because we're all working together for one common goal. So I believe that we all should be working together and bouncing ideas off each other and all be on the same page. I think taking notes during this meeting is very important. During these meetings, we can take notes to see, and each week, we can have a set of topics that we agree on to talk about. And then once those ideas are talked about, we can talk them in the player meetings, so that like I said before, if any of the younger players have anything to say or anything to add, it can be added. The cost estimate of this, the only thing that will cost is potentially the activities, such as bowling or paintballing or mini golfing. Seeing a basketball game on campus pretty much is free with your card. But a lot of places have, for group rates, they take a lower discounted price, especially for college students. So I think that the price for activities won't be too heavy on our pockets. The timeline of this is just over the semester. I think over the semester, this time during the off season, we can assess each week to see how we're improving or how we're decreasing as a group. And if we're decreasing, we got to put more time in and figure out ways how we can come together as a group. And if we're improving, figure out more ways that we can improve before we go into the summer where everybody goes home. I think this proposal can work if everybody is bought into it, and especially the seniors are bought into really figuring out a way to bring back a new culture that where there's communication, there's accountability, and there's responsibility amongst everybody on our team, especially our leaders, who are going to be the ones showing the example and being a role model for our team.